Hello, good evening. Welcome to Connect Africa. I am Mahlet Ayele, your host here at Connect Africa, bringing you the latest from the continent as usual. I am going to update you what's happening in the Sahel states, the western uh, part of the continent, particularly Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Now, there is a preemptive attack, if you can call it that way, that the ICC is saying that it has received complaints and a call from the terrorist group in the Sahel states calling for the government to be investigated in at ICC. Now, why do I call it a preemptive attack? This was a complaint of the particularly coming from the Malian government, as they have found those Ukrainian militaries and repetitively Ukraine sponsoring terrorist groups in the Sahel states. So they were actually a journalist from Mali has written asking that the Ukrainian government should be called to the United Nations Security Council and also to the should be taken to the ICC. And we have seen captives of Ukrainian militaries with Ukrainian flags. Basically fighting on behalf of the terrorist group against these governments, meaning the Malian and the Burkina-based government. So now that has been reversed, and they are saying the West, through its ICC, is basically International Criminal Court, but as somebody really has said it very well. It's an international colonial court because it happens to be only Africans are dragged to ICC, and it remains, as the Western powers remain immune from it. I'm gonna go read this. By the way, the Washington Post also has posted this, saying that regarding the Malian government and Burkina Faso's government should be called to ICC. It's really interesting. What they are saying is that these terrorist groups, you may see here where I am putting the cursor, these are, for example, the Tuaregs. This is how they dress up in Mali. This is one of a separatist group in Mali who wants to take their independent state, including Timbuktu, the historical part of Mali. So these like 6 armed groups are, bringing the case to ICC. And this is the absurdity of The Hague by far. Let me read it to you. The International Criminal Court has received a request to investigate war crimes in Mali and Burkina Faso allegedly committed by local armies and the Wagner PMC. Okay, they are bringing also Russia into this. I don't know why they have been quiet when even the ambassador of Ukraine has been bragging about this, saying that Ukraine has defeated Russia in West Africa or in the Sahel. That's how far they have went regarding, talking about their fight in the Sahel or their proxy war in the Sahel. So nobody has said, no Western power has accused Ukraine. Ukraine is their little baby doing their proxy war against Russia. Now, because this is what is remaining, do not be surprised after this Iran-Israel thing is over. If it is over, they're gonna come to the Sahel states. I don't know, but until then, we need to be organized, mobilize, organize, and be able to defend. Otherwise, there's no way they're gonna let just like that an African state to prosper. This will not happen without sacrifice. Just be prepared for that. Now, I will continue to read this article to you. Okay, so now the initiators were a number of diasporic and ethnic NGOs, including Kal Akal IMOA International and Azawad Solidarity Association, which are organizations directly or indirectly linked to the separatists in northern Mali, as those are the Tuaregs. Now, at the center of the accusations are videos distributed on Telegram, which record the actions of Malian militias. They are presented as an example of, in quote, psychological terror, attacks on personal dignity, and again, quote, opens crimes against humanity. Quote close. The essence of charges does not come down to the actual actions on the ground, but to the distribution of recordings, which, I remind you, initially appeared on the networks of opposition supporters and militants. Now, the ICC is trying to set a precedent here. If you cannot be directly accused, you can be tied to information support. Allegedly, this in itself is a crime. The charges are based on a legal innovation that has not yet been practically applied even in Western jurisdictions. An attempt to qualify publications on social networks as psychological terror if they relate to military operations. At the same time, the battles against jihadists and separatists are taking place in an extremely complex legal area where the distinction between militias and civilians is blurred. The very fact of submitting a request with unilateral accusations without taking into account the crimes of opponents, from attacks on village to attacks on civilian convoys, demonstrates the political bias of the International Criminal Court. Exactly. We are no longer talking about justice. The court is once again being used as an instrument of pressure on sovereign states and forces that hinder the West. Yeah. Moreover, if the investigation gets underway, it may prompt the governments of Mali and Burkina Faso to withdraw from the jurisdiction of The Hague, following the example of Russia. Thus, the ICC, as in the case of the Russian Federation, will close its doors to the region by itself, having lost the remnants of trust. Well said. So this is the way, what Burkina Faso, or how Burkina Faso and Mali can only prevent themselves. I mean, Russia is definitely a powerful country. I don't know, even if they withdraw from ICC, if it is still if still the West or the ICC, I mean, the West is the enabler of ICC. So if the West still pushes to come and drag them to ICC, I don't know, because Russia and these countries are different. So, but that's one step ahead for them, at least to withdraw from that, because they have now enough ground. And this thing, they have that enough ground to withdraw from this, because when they called for the issue to be brought to the United Nations Security Council and to the ICC, which the world did not listen, and now they have to echo this, like these NGOs from those northern part of Mali, who are linked to the separatist group, are bringing this accusation, bringing that video recordings in which these governments are referred to. So it's an indirect accusation, but still for ICC it's applicable. It's very new innovation, by the way, and the West did not even start to use it practically, as I have read the article for you. Now, just to give you an information, a background information, there are, out of the 193 countries in the world, there are about 125 countries which are members or parties of the ICC. Out of them, there are 33 African countries which are members of the ICC or party signatories of the ICC. So both, I have just checked before I came online, both Burkina Faso and Mali are parties of ICC, and also in Niger as well. But countries like United States, Israel, and some other countries, in the West, they are not part of ICC. Also, in Africa, 33. That means out of 54 countries, you have like 21 countries are not member, which is quite big. So this is the situation, and we will see what's going to happen. Somebody has asked what is the date of this document. This is I'll tell you right now, this is released on 24th of June, actually. And then where the article or that journalist from Mali actually written calling that the Ukraine has to be called to the United Nations Security Council, that came out in the beginning of June. Today is 1st July, so like about 7 July or 6 July that article was released. Now everything is reversed. Now ICC is calling for this. We have a saying in Amharic, you took away my cry, or my complaint, however equivalently that is translated to English. They are doing that preemptive attack against or I don't know, accusation or whatever against Mali and Burkina Faso's government. So those of you who are lawyer and who knows more, let us sensitize these governments. These governments do not have anyone except the Pan-African people. The world, okay, the global South maybe with them, but again, you have seen what happened to Iran, right? So let's really dig into this and let us see how we can really, sensitize and how we can prevent this, and how we can be a voice by projecting or saying that, in fact, there is also a country, which is Ukraine, that is in sponsoring. The West also, they have made it in their speech, Malian government repeatedly on international stage, in June also in Berlin, and also now whenever they get a stage in the United Nations or in one of its agencies, they talk about the West has to stop sponsoring terrorists in their region. Otherwise, much of their security, their budget, as much as they are thriving in development, as they increase the share of their natural resource in their country, and that definitely has contributed and has brought a change. But then again, that budget is much of it going to the security, so they cannot bring really the objective or the goal that they have set to bring to their country and to their people. So let's see how we can help this. After all, this is a Pan-African platform. So please let us know in the comment section, what do you think of this, and how Mali and Burkina Faso can prevent this. When they start to talk about it, I told you this thing is already also on the Washington Post. Go and search it. You will find it. Go Google it. So that was it for now. Thank you very much again for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that you will be notified whenever there's a new video upload or a live stream. If you want to help us further, also you can donate to our PayPal account. You can find it in the description section, and also share the video with others. That was it for now. Thank you very much again, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.